welcome to the LANCave. We're living as nerds. I'm Patrick, joined by Owen.
Hello.
Yeah, and we're sitting here talking video games, gaming news, all kinds of stuff. This is the place to be if you like video games and you'd like to deep dive into the news, like development news, the nitty gritty. If you want to go watch some people play games, that's cool. Like we do some of that too. We do some video game reviews coming up. Owen's got a new show coming up. Where he reviews his backlog. That show is called Ex Libris. But yeah, today we're just talking video game news as we do every single week, Thursdays at 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern. Almost said Pacific. Man, my math is that
If it was
off.
7:30 Central and 8:30 Pacific, that would be interesting.
It would be interesting. It would be interesting. Anyways, we always start off the week talking about the games that we've been playing. And Owen, you beat a game.
I did. I beat The Last of Us 2. Way to go, me. I did do custom difficulty settings though. So.
That's okay. That's okay. You did it. You beat it. Some people rage quit. So you kind of posted a little bit about it, but non-spoilery. I'm gonna take the words right out of your mouth, man, because your post, you were like, this sequel did not need to exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I did give the caveat that everybody should play the game. And so it shouldn't exist because I think I still stand by The Last of Us 1 being just a perfect narrative, one of the best video game narratives of all time, if not the
Perfect
best.
ending.
And
Perfect ending.
A fantastic ending that did not need to really be expanded upon. It was just left open enough. Like it felt like a Christopher Nolan film, like you know, the end of Inception where the top is still spinning, right? Like that, you know, the end of The Last of Us ended just that way where you're like, who knows what happens in the world from here on. And I was kind of content leaving it at that, but you know, Sony said make a second one, so the second one they did, and it's solid. As I've mentioned before, the accessibility settings are dope. Like I said, custom difficulty. So I was able to lower some difficulty, keep some at normal. Things that I can mess around with there, auto pickup, things like that were awesome. The gameplay is a way more polished thing. So
Really
if the gameplay of The Last of Us 1 was like something where you're like, you know, they really cleaned that up a lot in the second one. The story is solid. It has moments of being a little it's just not as good. And whenever you're following up on like a masterpiece, like I think that they had two routes that they could go. I think they could have played it safe, and they didn't want to do that, and I respect them for it. And so I don't think that it deserves the like 4 on Metacritic user scores that it got. I also don't think that it's a 10. I think I settled somewhere around an 8.5, and I'm content with that. It would be higher if the story was a little better, because playing the game itself is very satisfying. It's very tense. It's very, you know, all the settings, all that's great. It's just the story is just, it's hard to follow up a masterpiece. They followed it up. It was fine.
Sure. Yeah, and I will say graphically, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
No doubt it is this is a good swan song for the PS4, and there's a lot of great games on PS4, still good games coming out, but I feel like this is a good demonstration of this is what a PlayStation 4 can do. This is a pinnacle of the system, in my opinion, which is funny because the first one was kind of that for the last generation. I almost feel like they should have done a story that didn't have to do with Joel and Ellie. Like, I feel like that was the biggest problem, was we finished that story. Give us like maybe a side story of what was happening in parallel to what they were doing. I don't know. Like, I feel like because their story was so well bookended at the end of the first one, I agree with you. I feel like it wasn't needed.
Yeah, and you know, hey, before we say swan song, don't forget Ghost of Tsushima comes out tomorrow. So there is one last game, at least that we know of, Sony first party game, and it comes out tomorrow, and it's got some It's settling in the eights, which is good for it. I've heard a lot of people say it has the best photo mode of any game ever. So if you're into
Mm.
that kind of thing, I I have it preloaded. I don't think I'm
Mhm.
going to get to it this weekend. I'm playing some Wargroove from Ex Libris,
Yeah.
and experiencing that a little bit. I streamed that yesterday for
Mhm.
the show. We're going to be working on that YouTube video over the next couple weeks, hopefully to premiere in August. So look forward to
Mhm.
that. But so far, I'm digging it, although I was playing it literally right before me and you hopped on, and it's a lot harder
Yeah.
than I expected it to be. So I might have to do my old famous drop the difficulty down a little bit if I want to finish it. Which it said it had like a 10-hour campaign, and so
That's not bad. I mean,
that's if I win every battle, though, which I have not.
I was gonna ask, like, is it the strategy like involved that's just making it a little difficult, or
Well, I don't know how much you play tactical RPGs, but like,
not in like 10 years? I mean,
okay.
not that I didn't like them. I just haven't played one in so long.
So you get your commanders or whatever you want to call them, depending on the game. And I expect my commanders to be a little bit stronger than I am, and so my commander's getting beat down my enemy commanders. And if your commander dies, you lose the round. So I've done that now like 4 times. It's a little embarrassing because I'm still in like Act 2.
Mm.
But at the same time, whatever, they designed it to be hard. I'm going to be talking more about it on the show, so I won't talk too much more about it here.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool. I continue to play some Resident Evil. I was playing Resident Evil 1 because I don't know if I'd call it rage quit Resident Evil 0, but if you've played Resident Evil 0, there's an item called the hook shot, and if you don't have the hook shot, you can't progress past a certain point. And the game is smart enough that it, like, let's say you have it in you didn't have it in your inventory, and there was a moment in the game where like there's a train crash and all the items that you need are next to the train, right? So I'm like, oh, that's cool. So I forgot the item, but I have it here. They caught that. But there's a glitch if you put too many items down that it does away with items. In
Mm.
this case, the hook shot. So I can't complete the game right now. I'm 7 hours in. I kind of rage quitted, and I played some Resident Evil 1, which this is the remaster of Resident Evil 1, and I really liked it. I mean, it's still got the tank controls, but really well done.
It looks good.
Yeah,
The remaster. Yeah, you told me about that, and I was like, that's a bummer.
it really, yeah,
Just from the sense like I know you're trying to beat all of them, and that's
yeah.
part of the thing that you're doing on the side for LandCave, and so I wouldn't do it either if I got to because what these Resident Evils are normally like 10 hours ish.
Yeah, 10 to 15 depending on the game.
Yeah.
The puzzles can slow you down, or there isn't like a hint system. Like so I was talking to Kevin, like Kevin he was playing Uncharted, and Kevin quit playing Uncharted because he was like, he got to points where he was stuck, and he's like, I don't know what to do. It gave me a hint, but I don't know what it was, so he quit. And I'm like, that's like all Resident Evil. Like, yeah, he did.
And Uncharted,
So
I'm not judging
yeah,
too
Uncharted, and I'm
harshly.
like, they're not. I mean, they're usually when if you don't move any further, then you hit the R3, and it's like,
Yeah.
and it shows you like, and you're like, oh, I should go over there.
Yeah.
Resident Evil gives you none of that. There's no notes. There's no quest system. So, like, if you're like, oh, cool, I got the water key. What does that unlock? There's like the map doesn't show you. The map says there's locked doors, but it doesn't tell you which one that is. So you got to backtrack a lot in the game. I have a non-spoiler review, non-spoiler walkthroughs that I've been using to make sure if I do get stuck, I have a way to kind of jumpstart my brain and go, okay, this is what I need to look for. But yeah, I will go back and play Resident Evil 0 on the side, but right now Resident Evil 1 is my concentration, which it's the first game anyways, so I'm cool with it.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't feel bad if you if you want to go back for your own sake of completion. I don't fault you
Yeah.
for that, but I also don't fault you for me. If I'm not having fun, I quit. So
Yeah, I was kind of depressed. I sent you a video message. I was down, and I'm like, I really wanted to play this. I want to play Resident Evil 1 instead. I was like, I'm just going to pick up Resident Evil 1. And I like booted it up. And I'm like, I can't do it. Like, I felt so down. I couldn't play a video game.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we're past that now. I'm going to do some Resident Evil 1. And we'll still make the game videos talking about like all of the Resident Evil. I'll talk about all the stories. That's one of my side projects. We had quite a few video game conferences this week, or this past week, I should say. Starting off with Nintendo, which was one of the disappointing conferences, digital directs, whatever we want to call them. This is a treehouse. Treehouses are normally a little bit more laid back, but man, I was cringing.
Expectations were high.
I was cringing. I don't know about you, man, but
I felt really bad that these people don't stream for a living. Obviously, like you can tell they're used to hanging out in person, which most of the tree houses normally are. There's normally like they're on a couch next to each other and somebody's playing the game next to each other. But there was one point where they're in the stream playing Origami King, and there's the guy who's being quiet, and then homegirl's like blah blah blah, and then the dude starts talking because there's some kind of audio delay, and I'm like, I stream pretty regularly. I've never seen audio delay this bad. Like, what system are you guys using where you guys are that far behind each other? I was like, is somebody listening to the stream or something instead of like the hangout? But she talks, he interrupts, then she stops talking, then he goes, no, you go ahead. She goes, no, you go ahead. No, he goes, no, really, you go ahead. She goes, no, you go ahead. And I was like, somebody just talk. Like, you guys get paid to do this. I don't get paid.
You're literally getting paid to do this right now and bombing like hard. Also, I think one, we stream every week. Every week we've been streaming. We've there's been a couple weeks we've missed and everything, but we've been streaming for quite a while together. And also, we're also on the phone, like when we're working. So we're used to listening for the pause. Like you wait for it to come in. Like there, you were like probably waiting for me to pause, and you wait for the pause. I feel like maybe they're not used to doing that as much. You and I are doing that all the time when we're working. We got to wait for a moment to come in. You're like, I want to talk about this. Let me wait for them to finish their thought, and now we go. And the more people, obviously, the worse. But man, there's only a couple. There were only a handful of people. I feel like it was just they were just weak at that, and it made the presentation worse. And I'm not in on this game. It wasn't just the presentation, but also I just don't. It's not resonating with me right now, at least.
I was really excited about it, and when it first got announced, like we both were pumped. And they've had two games. They had Color Splash and they had Sticker Star, were like the last couple of Paper Marios, and I don't know why they want to get away from the RPG element. Like, it's an RPG. Like, if you play Thousand Year Door, like, it's an RPG. The first Paper, and they don't want to do that. Like, there's still a battle system in this, and there's still HP that you're wandering around, but they got rid of all experience points. There's only coins, and the coins do stuff. The battle system is this puzzle battle, which is fine. It's just, I don't know why you're getting rid of that. And they didn't bring back original characters, which again, if you played Thousand Year Door, I don't know if you did.
I didn't.
You should check out like a stream of it, or like a YouTube video of a playthrough, unless you have an emulator. But there's original characters in there. It's like Mario, and then there's all of there's like Goombas and Koopas and everything that are like, they have like their own style, they have like their own clothes, and they got rid of that, and it's just toads. There's just toads everywhere. I just don't know why they got rid of all the cool parts of it.
I feel like it lost, and I mean, I'm not a huge. I was not one who played all of them. I played very little Paper Mario, but I felt like they've not necessarily turned their back, but they're going away from what made Paper Mario, like you mentioned, the RPG elements and everything. I felt like it didn't feel like Paper Mario. It looks like Paper Mario, of course, because it's paper, but I just wasn't digging it. So you mentioned this on the stream the other week. Was it Thousand Year Door was not your favorite, right? You said Color Splash?
No, Thousand Year Door is the best one.
Okay, because there was someone was talking about the highest rated one I don't know if it was Sticker Star or something, but like they were looking it up and they're like, this doesn't make any sense. Like in regards to reviews. Yeah, in regards to reviews, I think they were like Sticker Star had like a higher review on, I can't remember if it was Metacritic or something, and people like, this is crap. Like this game is not that good. I can't remember exactly what the metric was, but it cracked me up thinking about that.
That's where like there's the Nintendo aspect of it, because Origami King has now gotten its reviews. It's currently sitting at an 81 on Metacritic, which is fine. I'm sure it's fine. Everybody that I've read is that it's Mario, it's paper, it's fun, but it's only fun for so long and then it gets stale. And I was like, why are you guys being so nice to this game? Like everybody, like there were so many reviews that were like, it's cute and everything, but it gets stale. And I'm like, if it gets stale, if the battle system is so repetitive, which is the, gameplay is king, like then how can you guys be so nice to this game other than it being a Mario title? And that's where I get like the people that didn't like Breath of the Wild, even though you're idiots. I'm just kidding. Not really. I get that you see this Nintendo bias, and I totally saw it with this, because I watched that 20 minutes of the game in the treehouse, and I don't get it. This isn't fun, and I don't get how it could get rated that highly just because it's Paper Mario and it looks good.
And part of it maybe because it's Mario, and you know what? Honestly, Nintendo first party they're not usually bad. Like you mentioned Sticker Star being bad, but like for the most part, there aren't first party Nintendo games are usually good. They're usually good quality. That's the reason that it's a system seller. It's why people bought the Switch on the onset. Now we know it's a great third party console. It's an amazing handheld, but that's why they sold so many in the first place. That's why Nintendo still sells so many consoles, is because you have that harkening back to like the Nintendo quality seal of approval. First party Nintendo games still are good. So this may not be our thing, but if it's your thing, don't get us wrong. More power to you. I'm pre-ordering Ghost of Tsushima because I forgot to pre-order it. I'm pre-ordering it right now. Did you see the Kurosawa mode on that?
Yeah.
Or hear about it?
Yeah, the black and white mode.
That's freaking cool.
Yeah.
I
thought not gonna lie, I've never watched the Kurosawa movie, but I respect that they are giving some homage to this guy, which is cool. I had to own it because it's the last, like we said, it's probably the last PS4 first party game, and I just don't know when I'm going to get to it. But I like that some people just said you're OP when stealthing, and I'm like, yeah, let's go. I'm just gonna
you're like, I got no problem with that.
Shank stuff, and then we're gonna get through this story. I'm ready for it. Hopefully the story is good enough. I probably didn't need to pre-order, but I had a little extra credit lying around, so I was like, okay, why not?
Yep. I got a little bit extra. I think I'll just say, like, I just got, not to brag, I just got like kind of a little reward at work, and I'm like, I'm so happy about it. Like, sorry, but busted my tail at work and it paid off. And it's funny because like I know I told you this already, but I thought I'd mention on the screen, because I got like a little bonus that's coming to me, and he's like, what are you getting with it? I'm like, the PS5. Like, I mean, I know I was already looking forward to it, but I'm like, now that money's just tucked away. I already had money tucked away, but now it doesn't eat into the cushion as much. And now I'm definitely getting that headset. I cannot wait, man. I cannot wait. And that's the other news actually this week that I meant to mention, is that there was a rumor that you and you sent me, and I think we were all in on. It seemed like the PS5 was going to have a price announcement on Monday. I was ready. I had the browsers up. I know you did too. Waiting, refreshing. I had timers going off on my phone.
F5.
Where it's like, you got 5 minutes. You got 5 minutes, like, to make sure my eyes were on it. And then Sony dropped a tweet about Assassin's Creed. I mean, I feel like either they knew that they had eyes on them already, either that, or someone wasn't paying attention and they already had that queued up. One or the other. I think it was a bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, no, the Valhalla one was clearly scheduled, and so there was nothing. They just didn't do anything about it. I'm sure that they heard the rumors, and then Sony being Sony,
I
they
would have
don't
stopped
care.
it. Yeah, I would have stopped it. I would have like been like, hey, let's cancel. Let's reschedule that. Push that out for tomorrow, and let's do a real quick cut trailer of this saying price coming soon. I mean, I guess either one would have made people upset, but I just thought it was. At first, I was like, oh, maybe it's only a handful of us watching. Nope, so many people were watching and ready for it. But
And so
I
now
thought
what
it
we
was
have is apparently Keeley's going to go do a hands-on tomorrow with just the PS5 controller, and he's going to talk about it. And I was like, to go hands-on with the PS5 controller, that means Keeley, being Keeley, probably already has a PS5.
Yeah.
So is he going to show us a game? And so that might be the closest we get to any
yeah.
PS5 news this week.
Out of all the games journalists, and I'm really happy for him in this case, he's has that respect that like the Devolver we're gonna actually those are gonna be talking about this anyways, with the Devolver digital happened, and like they were like, oh, there's this person called the Architect, and he like pops on screen, and like before anybody said anything, like the chat was like, that sounds like Jeff Keighley. Like he has that recognition, but also that trust. Like you said, like he's probably got a PS5. Yeah. Sony's going to trust him enough. She's going to trust him. Everyone's going to trust him to say, yeah, we'll give you a PS5 because you're going to talk up Sony. And I thought that was great. I loved Devolver. I love them every year. The only thing that I thought was a little weird was I think there was more not hype. There was more of the Devolver universe and the storyline of the Devolver of what's her name, Nina, and everything. More of that than gameplay.
Sure.
More of that than game announcements, like than them talking about games at all. They were talking about Devolver universe and Nina. She's great. I'm glad they keep bringing her back, but it was a little lacking in that case.
Yeah, I think that you can tell like that COVID has delayed some things, and so maybe they didn't get to show as much as they want, but you know, they still get to go out there and have some fun.
Mm-hmm.
You know, going through the game list, I didn't see anything that stood out too much, other than I like that we get Carry On next week. Like that was a game that we saw last year that looks sweet. So I'm ready for
they
some
brought
Carry
the puppet
On.
back. They brought the puppet back, so that was cool. I put in the notes here because I really didn't know how to feel about it, but Shadow Warrior 3, I didn't see who the voice cast was, but the voice sounded like this really bad Asian accent like impression, and I put, is this racist? Is it racist? Like, because I felt like maybe it's because it's 2020 and we're so sensitive to it.
Sure.
But as soon as he started talking, I was like, I don't know. But I mean, this game, honestly, I've not played any of the other games, but this game looks like something up my alley because it's like a Japanese Doom. It looks fun.
Yeah, I'm in. Yeah, it looks fun enough. I'm generally in for anything Devolver does, just because they go for the weird. I'll be honest, I didn't listen to it, and so I can't speak to that there, except that I know, you know, being that it's number 3, that means, you know, maybe it's grandfathered in or something. I don't know. if the previous 2 games were like this, then
yeah, they're probably like, we're just giving it a pass. I mean, it is known for its comedy, and maybe it's because I haven't played the other games, and maybe it's because I don't know. Maybe it could have been completely my perception and my mindset when I saw that. And you know, I was like, other than that, I'm all in. I love the style. We had Shu coming in talking about Fall Guys, which I'm like, cool, like it's adorable. Someone was posting in the comments, they're like, how, and I think Easy Allies was talking about this as well. They're like, how do you get good at this game though? It's ridiculous and over the top, which I like, but I don't feel like it should be a competitive game, like where you're actually, I don't know, earning things. Maybe if you just play, you get stuff for playing. I don't know.
I feel like it's just supposed to be like a party game. Like, I don't know how serious you're actually supposed to take it.
I don't. Well, when I saw win, when I saw win and earn, I was like, yeah, like maybe like I've been playing more Battlefront 2, by the way, just every now and then, where I'm like, I got 10 minutes and I want to jump in. I'll jump in 10 or 15 minutes or something. And
who doesn't like a little blast, you know?
Love it, absolutely love it. It's gotten even better over the past year, and I'm
I
not
almost
great at it.
exclusively play Blast.
Oh
Like
yeah,
I don't like doing the heroes
yeah. I
stuff.
hate the heroes. Yeah.
I like doing. I do play a little bit of the 4v4 heroes. That's
Mhm.
fun, you know, because everybody's OP. But like
Okay.
during any of the big matches like that, but blasts, like
Yeah.
I spent a weekend getting to like level 50 on the soldier. So
Yeah. I do need to play more because I have like crap for cards or anything like that. So
oh yeah, you just unlock from playing now.
yeah, yeah. But the I actually don't like the 4v4 heroes because yes, everyone's OP, but I feel like everybody's really good at the hero that they pick. And because it's 4v4, I don't have an in to like maybe get someone when they didn't see me coming or something. Like they always see me, so I was losing that. I feel like the giant battles, I'm it's not that I'm better at them. I feel like I have more of a chance to like get a cheap shot in maybe.
Sure.
um, and then when you see like Emperor Palpatine or someone like running around, like I don't even care if I'm playing Rebels and like I see the Emperor, I'm like, dude, that's awesome. Like it's all about the hyperbole for me in that game. It's fun.
Oh, you know, if we're ever down, you know, we can play some Blast and see
Yeah.
how it goes. I have a lot of fun playing
Yeah,
that
we're
game.
definitely gonna be playing some Squadrons, by the way, when that comes
Yeah.
out. So we may do it like we may have to schedule like a time like this where we play and we stream, we talk while we're streaming, because Squadrons is awesome. I can't wait, and it's priced really well, and they're not paying me to say that. $40, man, $40 for that game, totally worth it. Totally worth it. Oh, also, Ouija just launched. That was another thing that was on the Devolver. I couldn't find this on Switch. When they were like, it's available now on Steam and Switch, and I couldn't find it. So I don't know if there was like maybe there's a timing mix up, but I'm all about this game. Like I love the throwback graphics, the pixel art in here.
Yeah.
Reminds me of like late 80s DOS games is what it reminds me of. And I'm old enough to
I can see
remember
that.
those games. Yeah, I'm old enough to remember those games. I really like the artwork. It looks fun. I didn't see what it was priced. I think it was priced at like 15 or 20
Most of
bucks.
their games are $20 or less. So
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, to me it looked like it's going to be something that'd be pretty fun, challenging enough. But yeah, I'm down for that one.
their website says coming soon still, so
Okay.
maybe something got messed up
Yeah.
with how that went. But like they do a really good job with picking
Mm-hmm.
studios to publish for that are developing these like retro inspired games. And so you know, let me know how it is, and then I can add it to my ever growing Libris.
Yep. I mean, that's what it's all about. I mean, if we're not playing it now, I mean, one, support your developers, and two, that backlog, you're going to get to those games at some point. So if they come on sale, Far Cry still on sale, isn't it? Far Cry on sale on PlayStation, right?
$3.
Far Cry 3 for $3, Far Cry 4 for $6, Far Cry 8, Far Cry 5 for $8, something
Far
like
Cry
that.
17 for $16. I'm just kidding.
I was like, what? Now, the reason they did that is because Far Cry 6 was announced, which I feel like some of the wind got taken out of their sails because this leaked last week, and I'm gonna buy it. I'm 100% in on this because I love what's his name, Giancarlo. I feel bad because I didn't. I remember he was in stuff, but I didn't really realize how great of an actor he is until Breaking Bad, and I think that was his breakout role. And obviously, since then, he's been getting some great stuff. Mandalorian, and rumor is, if you watch Breaking Cinematic Universes, if you listen to my other podcast, that the rumor is that he's going to be Mr. Freeze.
That's interesting.
So, yeah. I think he's good. Are you in on this one?
Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah, Giancarlo.
I feel like he's playing Gus.
A little bit.
So I feel like there's a little bit of, to that. But at the same time, hey, you get a guy that's good at what he does, then that's fine.
Yeah.
I am interested. I'm a lot more like, but then again, I played Far Cry 5 and Far Cry 5 sucks in my opinion. Now I know it's a very popular game, but like I got really bored by it, and so at least this maybe is more interesting, but I'm gonna want to see how they set it up.
Sure.
I also am super disappointed with Ubisoft right now in terms of Valhalla running at 30 FPS on PS5 and Series X. So if that's going to happen with Far Cry 6, I kind of don't want to support them until they take advantage of the hardware. Because like I want to play Valhalla, but I'm not like, no, yeah, this is 2020, man, and both of those, the PS5 and the Series X, are GTG. So make your game run properly.
Yeah, and I will say,
not to be a snob, but
no. Like, I mean, I will say that, and I've mentioned this before. 30 versus 60. Yes, there's a difference. It doesn't make. I don't feel like it makes that much more of a difference in third-person games. In fact, it can almost have like a cinematic feel to it. But at the same time, playing Last of Us, the remaster of Last of Us was smooth. It was great. It didn't lose. It didn't make it feel almost fake. Sometimes 60 frames, like it doesn't quite look like a cinematic experience. It looks too real. Which I know we're getting into the uncanny valley right there. Like it looks like him.
Yeah.
Like I know this is not gameplay. I know this is cinematics, but our this is how good our graphics are getting now that it almost looks like. If you're not really scrutinizing it, it looks exactly like the actor. But in regards to gameplay,
a first-person shooter. So
first person, I want 60 frames. 30 frames on first-person shooters. We're ahead of that now. I was gonna say when you mentioned Valhalla, I'm like, okay, how's the draw distance? How's the shadows? There's a lot of things that in a third-person game that matter to me. And 60 frames doesn't quite matter as much. I'm going to pivot slightly because I know we're talking about Ubisoft here, but I feel like as we're talking about those high def graphics and everything, Xbox One X is ceasing production, or Microsoft is ceasing production on the Xbox One X, which
as well as the all digital edition.
Yeah, as well as that's what I was going to say. As well as the all digital edition. You can be sad about the Xbox SAD being taken down, but the Xbox One X is an amazing console. Whitney's in the other room playing Assassin's Creed, actually right now playing Assassin's Creed Origins on it, and it looks so good. The Xbox One X is an amazing console. It was priced pretty high, and Xbox was already losing the race. But if these go on sale, I know we mentioned it before, if these go on sale Black Friday, snag one because they're great consoles. Don't snag the digital edition though.
I think they're gonna be gone by then, honestly.
I would think that they would be, but I'm just saying, like, if they happen to be doing a sale, I don't know. The digital edition's lacking. You're probably going to be able to get an X for low enough. But yeah, if they're all gone by Black Friday, they're all gone. This does not it does not make me sad that the all digital edition of Xbox One is going away. I do love this this commercial though, where he's just painting over the disk drive.
Yeah. What's weird to me about it is I just don't know why the Xbox One X is the one that you get rid of, other than that maybe the S, man, their naming scheme sucks. The Xbox One S is the one that's remaining. They're going to keep that one in production even into when Series X comes out, at least as far as we know. I don't know why you would get rid of the One X when it's such a nice piece of hardware. Like, can you not competitively price it? Like, I've seen it go for as cheap as like $350 before. Like, you know. Right now on Amazon, it's $4.99 for the 1 terabyte. So like I have a feeling that you're not really going to be able to find it discounted very much now. Since they announced that they're getting rid of it. So I think it stinks. I think if you can get a One X and you were wanting to get an Xbox but don't want to go to the Series X, the One X is going to last you for several more years. I think the One S will too, but the One X is just really nice. It's definitely the best console on the market right now. So I don't. I just don't get it. I don't understand what caused them to do it. I realize though that they are about to put the Series X out there. There's Lockhart that we're expecting, and so maybe Lockhart is going to be replacing the One X. Maybe that's the deal, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's I'm kind of thinking in the same realm because we're getting ready for the Xbox launch. We're like 3.5 months away, and 3.5 4 months away from this for both of these consoles launching, and we don't know prices, but I do feel like that was a marketing decision to say, let's make sure that we're pushing the new consoles. Rumor with the Lockhart is that we're going to have a very affordable console, so maybe they want to say let's make sure that people during Black Friday and during all of that are buying one of the two new consoles, or they're buying the Xbox One S. Xbox One X is already kind of more expensive, so maybe they're like, if that's $500 and the new one is $500, maybe they're like, let's just get rid of it. So by the time it comes around, people will go, oh, well, of course I'm going to get the new thing. That's the only reason I can think of it. If they're priced the same, because Xbox One X being $500, I feel like that's probably around the price point. It may be more expensive than for the Xbox One Series X. I'm glad I have mine though. I'm going to mount it on the wall here eventually, but not. That one's going to be probably one of the last ones I mount.
Yeah, because who knows when you're getting the next one. That's where I think I think the One X is going to be like doing you for a while. It looks like you can get the One X for $399 at Walmart right now. Who knows how long that's going to last? So I've just been looking up like prices to see.
Yeah, no. Good
It's
for
the
you. Yeah.
20 bundle, so you even get that thrown in there for all you basketball
That's right.
people.
I tried to
I'm so
play.
excited.
By the way, I tried to play some basketball. Tried to play some NBA 2K. Was it 2K20? They just came out with it. Yeah, so I popped that in or launched it, whatever, and I'm terrible. Like, I am so bad. Like, because I haven't played a basketball game. Like, I've played some Madden every now and then. I haven't played a basketball game in forever. I think it was on the PlayStation 2, and it was like it was like, I think it was NBA Streets or something, where like almost all of it you're like playing like a neighborhood, and that was fun, but it was like really over the top. And this one's like really, really strategic, and I'm bad. I'm really bad. Like, I went at 1-on-1, and the computer just kept taking the ball from me. I felt like I felt so bad.
It's the learning experience. I'm not any good at it anymore either. Every once in a while, I think about downloading the show again and playing some baseball, but theoretically, we're supposed to get baseball next Friday, depending on what COVID has to say about that. And basketball is supposed to be restarting it. Like, I'm so in. I even asked Cassie. I was like, I might have to resub to some streaming service just so I can watch. And she's like, for baseball, it's okay. And I was, that's where you know you're loved, man. Is that she just knows what this means to me for it to be coming back. And I know it's probably like selfish. Probably they shouldn't actually play, and I actually still don't expect them to. But sports games are tough though, man. Yeah. Like, try playing some Madden sometime when you realize how little you know about football.
Yeah. Like, I haven't played Madden in a while, and I was losing terribly, but I felt like really bad because I'm like, man, I'm losing terribly. But I do the same thing when I play Magic the Gathering. If I'm losing, like, even if I'm losing, I'm like, dude, that was cool. Like I'm in awe of like other people playing. Like, even if I'm losing, like, I'm a really good loser when it comes to like multiplayer games. Like we're talking about Battlefront. I will lose like terribly in Battlefront, but I'm like, that was fine. Like, I'm good. Like, I don't get mad at myself. I get mad if I'm playing Dark Souls and I lose, but I feel like it's because I've set my bar so low that I'm like, if I get a kill, I'm like, I'm good. Look at me. I got like 10 in a row the other day playing Battlefront, and I don't know what happened. I was in the zone. But yeah, like I do that playing Magic the Gathering when I used to play in tournaments. It's different now when you play like online, but I'd play in tournaments, and like someone would be like, oh, I'm doing this. I'm like, dude, that was awesome. And like every now and then people like give me like weird looks because like they're taking it all seriously. And I'm like, dude, I'm taking it seriously too, but you gotta give people props when they do something good.
Nope.
Nope, not you.
I'm not.
Rage quit.
I'm not a good sportsman. I don't. I mean, I'll rage quit video games. Like,
Yeah.
but if anybody, I'm. I'll give the handshake or the fist bump or whatever
Yeah.
if I lose. In like that kind of setting. But I'm not gonna be very complimentary of it either. I don't like losing. I get upset. I get upset if my wife beats me in a video game, guys. So
Oh yeah. That's why Whitney and I don't play video games like fighters. We'll play co-op games. We'll play some Lego, play some Gears of War. But we tried to play fighting games once, and she's a sore loser, and like really sore, and like it's like we would fight. We would like there was tension between us because we were playing a game against each other, and she didn't like that I was winning, but she didn't want me to let her win. So we just play co-op stuff now.
Yeah, we're gonna see how that goes with the son. How
Yeah.
I'm gonna see, because I feel like I'm in this weird mental space where like, hey, the world kind of sucks. Maybe like if he was playing video games right now, I might let him win. But then all before he was born, I was like, I'm never gonna let you can win when you beat me, child. And now I'm in this weird headspace of like, we might play some Mario Kart, and I might suck on purpose. Maybe
you
not.
became a dad. You became a dad where you're like, because when Ted like wins at Mario Kart and the look on his face, dude, that's gonna be amazing. I'm getting teary eyed thinking about that for you, because that's gonna be a moment for you when Ted like passes you in Mario Kart.
Yeah, and then there's gonna be that time where like he actually beats me, and then I'm gonna leave the room.
Yeah, you're gonna be because when he beats you and you let him, you're like, dude, that was great, good job. And then when he's actually consistently stomping you and you're not letting him win, it happens though. It happens.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. Anyways, we had some other stuff come up. I forgot this was a thing, by the way. This was more during Ubisoft Brawlhalla. I forgot it was a thing.
A friend of mine from high school is big into it, I think, but like whatever.
Yeah, I was just like so skip that.
Tom
Clancy. Yeah, I mean it looks cool, but it looks cool, but I'd rather play Smash if I'm gonna play something like that.
Sure.
This game, so this is Tom Clancy's Elite Squad, which when they first showed it, I was like, okay, this is your next Overwatch, like, team-based shooter. And I wasn't completely discounting it, but I was kind of already gauging my thoughts on it. And when they showed, where is it coming up here in a second? When they show the that Tom Clancy Splinter Cell, I can't remember the guy's name. I don't know what's wrong with me. Him. When they showed that, I'm like, okay, like
Sam Fisher.
Because Sam Fisher, yeah, I don't know, but I'm like, okay, let me give him some time, because like I really liked the older Splinter Cell games. I think the newer ones are okay, but like I'm like, let me give it a try now that we know it has kind of a backed. It's not that it's completely net new. It's like, okay, there's an IP back here that that tells us not only is there money, there's probably a lot more care with it. At least I'd hope there was. I don't know if that was up your alley at all.
I'm not good at stealth games, or at least I'm not good at anything Tom Clancy. I tried Rainbow Six as a kid, and I wasn't good at it. I figured out later what thing that contributes to that is the color blindness. Just makes it really hard with realistic games like that, to where I can't, if anything blends in, and we're talking like those games where it's like 2-shot deaths or 1-shot death. But what I think stinks about this is like they know that we like, and I say the royal they know that we want another Splinter Cell, and they're like, here's Sam Fisher and Elite Squad. Cool, right, guys? He's right here. Like, and
that's what you wanted, right? No,
you guys have phones, right? It's just the running joke now. It's just, I don't know. To me, I think they're teasing it. That means it's probably in the pipeline. But at the same time, like, they're doing really well with Rainbow Six Siege, and maybe they're just trying to keep things fresh to where
Sure.
maybe if Rainbow Six Siege starts to kind of like die down a little bit, maybe like, okay, now it's time for Splinter Cell. But I would bet money that they're working on it if they're bothering to put him in this game.
No, I think you're right. And the Splinter Cell games, like, I don't think there has been one since like 360. I don't even think there's one on Xbox One. There were some really fun games. I like stealth, which is honestly, when you mentioned that Ghost of Tsushima, like the stealth mode feels OP, I'm like, cool, because that's the mode I wanted to play in. I'll probably play both, like try one versus another, unless the game lets you swap. I don't know. I haven't looked into it enough to know if I can play and like swap between the modes, or do I need to gear and spec myself for one mode versus another in regards to Ghost of Tsushima. But 2013, yeah, it's been a while.
360 PS3.
Gotcha.
Even it was even on the Wii U. Wow, way to go! Wii U.
Wii U was a great console.
Sure.
Like I feel like one of those Dreamcast guys when I say that, because I'm like, dude, you don't know how cool the Dreamcast was. Because like, dude, the Dreamcast fanboys, if you don't know, Dreamcast fanboys are like, they're still raising that flag. There's games that people are still making for Dreamcast. Yeah, I don't know why. I like my Wii U. Like, I'm considering, if I know I mentioned earlier on the show, but I'm mounting my consoles up here, and I thought about mounting the Wii U, but I don't know if I'm going to play it. But I thought about putting that up there as well. Dreamcast, I don't think I'd go back to.
Wii U's great.
Yeah.
I think, is the eShop still running on Wii U?
I don't think it is. I'll double check.
I think they shut down the Wii one, which was depressing. If Nintendo should still keep it up, because just from a perspective of, if you can buy a Wii U and you have access to the eShop, there's a lot of stuff on there. Although, again, they shut down the Wii eShop, so, and you could access that on the Wii U. I think that was a big mistake on their part.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out, because I've got Wind Waker and a few other games on there. Like, I think you call yours the Zelda machine. You have the Zelda edition, don't you?
Yeah, and then there's I think there's 8 or 9 Zelda games, and that's literally the only Wii U games I own. So
I got some others because I was like, let's see what they're doing with this. I didn't get a lot of Wii U games.
There weren't any.
It's true. I ran right into that joke. I was gonna say I didn't get the new Super Mario Brothers games when that came out. I really like those.
Sure.
And they ported into the Switch, so just go there. Had a couple other games that they announced in here that I'll blast through. Hyperspace, which I thought was the most meta. Was Hyperscape? Sorry, I always said Hyperspace. Because I'm thinking Star Wars. Hyperscape. Like, when they explained it, I was like, oh, this is so meta. So it's like it's a BR, but it's a BR in a futuristic world where people play it. Like Ready Player One meets a I don't know, Fortnite. Not really Fortnite because it's first person shooter, but like, I was like, I'm intrigued. I'm probably going to be really bad at it. I really hope there's like a trial or like a demo or something that I can give it a shot, because I don't think it's going to be for me, but it was intriguing at least.
Free?
I don't know. It is free. Okay.
Yeah, it's in beta right now. I don't know if it's still a closed beta like it was before. I'm not gonna play it. If they put it on console, I guess I might check it out. I watched. I'm a watcher of BRs. I don't play them because I'm bad at them. It's very fast paced. It was designed for Twitch, and so people who stream it, they can be interacted with. So like, there's moments where things will pop up on the stream, and you can like help or hurt the guy or gal that you're watching. So he said, the main person that I watch, who I consider to be an authority on VR, said it was fun and fast paced. I just think, there's a saturation point that we're hitting with VR, and I think that we're now getting to this point where you need to just put it in a game. Like, instead of making a standalone BR, like just make your game and then have a BR mode. And if your BR
Yes.
mode's good, dope. But it can't be the only thing bringing me to the table anymore.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like there needs to be single. It's not only single player mode, but even if there's multiplayer, a multiplayer team based different versions, and then some BR. I still think that, especially with the world that they were describing, I was like, this would be a really cool single player campaign where you actually go through like the mystery of what's involved and blah blah blah. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. Like, because it very much was Ready Player One. Like, there's an Easter egg that's going on that people are trying to go for, and I was like, that's intriguing. That's more intriguing than the game. Is there a campaign? Like, because the single player campaign would have been more interesting to me, where different factions or something, and then maybe those factions that are in the single player game are factions that you play in the BR. Like there's like people who are more like corporate, there's people like that work for the game company, there's people who are like resistance to something, whatever, like, and then you have these factions that then you play as. Like, that'd be cool. Anyways, the idea of the game was, what's that?
Alas,
Yeah,
will never come to be.
It won't. But Valhalla, yes, please. Finally got some gameplay on this, a good amount of gameplay. And I guess the embargo lifted because there were some streamers that are not even streamers, just people that I saw on YouTube that didn't even have
blockbusters.
I call them influencers. This one person had less than 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. That's more than us. I understand that. But like, they got early access to it, and they're like, yeah, I got to play it, and here's my gameplay of playing the game. And I'm thinking, how did you get on that? Because like, they don't, I mean, I get giving it to an influencer, but they didn't have that many viewers. And yeah, I know part of me was just kind of jealous, but it looks great. I really like the setting of the history. They do such a great job in regards to the keeping. Of course, there's a fantasy element to Assassin's Creed, but the history element of keeping things very similar to what they would be, or true to what they would be in those time periods, I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, again, I'm just upset that they're not going to run it at modern hardware levels unless you're on PC, and so I'm just a little miffed about that. If they patch it, like I wanted to play the game originally, I still just am blown away that the level of hardware that we're getting with PS5 and Series X, and you're not going to take advantage of it, doesn't make any sense to me at all.
I think what we're seeing here is something we've seen in other console generations, and they say they're not doing it, but because it's new hardware, even though the architecture is very similar, they're still making games for the lowest common denominator. They can say it's optimized for Series X, but even though it's optimized, it's not going to run at 60. I feel like they're still playing to the lowest common denominator in regards to multiplats, and we're going to see that for the next year and a half or so. So if you that's kind of how I feel about it. There are going to be some great games on PlayStation 5. There's going to be great games on Xbox Series X, but we're not going to see them really take advantage of that until the next was it Unreal 5 is in the developers' hands, and they really get to dig into it. So probably 2 years from now before we see something that is of the level that we would expect a PS5 and Xbox Series X to have. That's just my opinion about it.
I bet if we better see Miles Morales at 60 frames. Like we better see Halo at 60 frames. Like if the first party isn't doing it, I'm gonna get even more upset. And again, I'm not a PC person. I get where PC people are coming from, though. Whenever it comes to like, if you play a game at 60 frames, it's just different, and it's weird to me that Nintendo can do it on a Switch. You play it like you can't. It's not every game or anything like that, but like the resolution, they'll sacrifice some resolution and everything. And man, I didn't turn on my light. It got dark in here. The resolution might go lower. Like, I don't care if Valhalla is going to run at 1080. Like, it's just make it 60. I just don't. I don't get it when like we're at this level. Like you have these custom hard drives, you have these new awesome video cards, and you're not using them.
Yeah. I feel like I agree with you, and I feel like when you were like, I don't care if it's 1080 and 60 frames, I'm like, why not give us that option? You know, because there are a lot of games that came out in the past couple of years that are saying, do you want us to prioritize your frame rate, or do we want to prioritize your resolution? And it will keep you at 60, and your resolution will drop, but your frame rate will not drop. I would rather have that option, to know that it would be consistent. I'd rather have that option, especially with the new hardware. Like, give me the option to say, all right, well, yeah, you're at 1080 or 60 frames, as opposed to, I mean, as beautiful as 4K is, I do agree. Like, I want those frames in there. So why not have the option?
There is options on I think some of those, like I think you can do that on God of War, but I also don't remember. I don't remember how many games it is an option for.
It's not a ton, but it is an option on a lot of the larger budget games.
Even more, like you can do 1440 or something, like, just, you know, not everything has to be perfect 4K. Like once you start getting past once you start getting past 1080, like it just looks super pretty anyway. But anybody who doesn't play games at 60, I know there's a lot of people who don't care, but try, like, go play some Nintendo games and tell me how good those Nintendo games feel, and then try and then play a game at 30 and just notice the difference.
No, I agree. They're buttery smooth. I'm not going to say 60 frames is not better, because it is. I do feel that some games do, from a pacing perspective, from a frame rate perspective, some do take advantage of more of a 30. And I think didn't Last of Us have a cinematic mode? I know there's a couple games that have a 24 frames per second mode. I can't remember.
The Remastered runs at 60.
It runs at 60, but maybe it wasn't that game. There was a game or two that came out in the past, in the PS4, that had a cinematic mode and ran in 24 frames per second. So it felt like when you're playing the game and watching the game, and not just cinematics, but actually playing the game, it felt like a movie. So for those of you who don't know, movies, Marvel films, everything is 24 frames per second. It's not 30 or 60. They tried to do The Hobbit in the ultra high frame rate, and it looked like crap.
And then The Last of Us 2 runs at 30.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, could be worse. We got, as we're rounding out our news, we got some new Lego sets coming out, which we talked about. Some Lego sets. We talked about Lego sets, I don't know, I think it was about a month ago. New Mario Lego. But here we got Mario Legos that are made to look like an 80s TV. Hold on, where was it? This is what I absolutely love, man. Seeing the coaxial and the audio video RCA plugs.
Is there channel 3 switch on there? Because
there needs to be a channel 3 switch. But man, I thought that was kind of cool. I don't know if if this comes together, I may grab one of these.
That's a complete thing. It's like 200 and something bucks.
It is. That's right. Oh, maybe for Christmas.
Just swing that bone. I'm just kidding. It's too big. Like, I want it. I absolutely want it. I don't have anywhere. It's big. I have these friends Legos right now that are still in the box. That thing is 1,070 pieces. I think the NES one is some. Yeah, and so
26. Yeah.
If I put up some new shelves or something.
Yeah.
Maybe,
well,
but
also, like, as big a gamers as we are and everything, if I'm going to spend that much money on a Lego set, it's probably going to be some Star Wars. Like, I'd probably get a Falcon or something, or a Slave One, because yeah, exactly. And I'm tempted to do that, and like hang it, or because I think that'd be cool. Like, if it's like hanging, like looks like it's flying around. You may or may not be in the shot for the show, but yeah, something.
Not everything has to be. Sometimes it can just be for you.
That's true. That's true. Also got, speaking of things for me and for you, we got news that they're doing a Star Wars The Bad Batch series, which is just after Clone Wars is wrapped up. For those of you who don't listen very often, I am not caught up on Clone Wars. I am familiar with The Bad Batch though, and I think that's really cool that they're continuing the story. How do you feel about it as someone who's followed all the Clone Wars?
So I haven't finished it either, and so
Oh, yeah,
the Bad Batch came in the most recent season, I believe. And so I don't know enough about them to make a call. But what is funny to me about this is just that the Skywalker saga is supposed to be over.
Yep.
And we still have Mandalorian, which is fine. Mandalorian came out like right at that thing. I feel like Mandalorian's grandfathered in. Clone Wars was wrapping up a story that needed to be wrapped up. There's a whole new line of like books and lore coming out that's supposed to be what are they calling it? The middle.
It's the High Order.
The High Order, and so. I know that that's not High Republic. So I know that that's not stuff that people know about, but I want to know about it, and I'm not saying this because I care. I just think it's funny that they made a specific thing that the Skywalker saga is coming to an end, but they're going to keep making content in the Skywalker saga era. So.
Well, and they haven't, the High Republic, they've not announced any cartoons or TV series whatsoever. It's all books. And I'm all for it. I'm all for it, 100%. But I feel like it would be better for this to be like, all right, it's all books, but we're going to have something else afterwards. So like if you read the books, you kind of get some lead in on the lore of the High Republic. I think that'd be cool to do it. Maybe it's because I'm hearkening back to the Shadows of the Empire multimedia phenom that it was. Yeah. I'd like to see something like that again. I want to see books. What's that? Video game, books, yeah, everything. Yeah, give me a High Republic book, comic books, video games, and cartoon. Like put all that together and do what Shadows of the Empire did, where they're like, we're going to tell pretty much the same story, but if you read the book, you learn more. If you're going to read the comic, you learn more about this other thing. What are you thinking?
Go to EA and say, okay, we get it. You're not going to do Knights of the Old Republic again. How about Knights of the High Republic?
and then just mic drop.
Just Star Wars. Just come to us for ideas. I just gave you. I just silver platter right here. You don't even have to pay me for it. Just give me the. Just give me early.
The pre-orders on that would break every pre-order record there's ever been. ever.
I don't know. I just make it in the same exact like mode. Like, give me that RPG Star Wars, and and in addition, give us Knights of the Old Republic remastered. Just do it. Yeah. And then use that as a pivot into here's a brand new story, Knights of the High Republic. Like,
yeah. Knights of the Old Republic is one of the greatest games in regards to story. It has not aged well.
No.
But the story is so good that like if you talk to gamers that like even people who are not like straight up like huge fanboys, they'll say, yeah, it's aged, it's rough, but they'll go back and play it. The story is that good. Anyways, we'll talk about things other than Star Wars. Let's talk about one more thing before we go, because we could just rant about Star Wars for the next hour.
Sure.
Skull and Bones is getting rebooted before it even releases. When did this game get announced? Was it 5 years ago?
Let's say 2016.
I want to say it was. I was gonna say 2016 or so. They're rebooting and revamping. They said they're what was it? They're basically trying to create more of a live world. It says persistent game world with quests, characters, and storylines that drastically evolve and change over time based on a collective actions of community. Which reminds me of that game that I can't remember. I'm spacing on it. There was a game that was related to a sci-fi TV series that had a PS3 game. and it was terrible because it was like the choices in the game of the community changed the game, but it also changed the TV series, and it was terrible. It was terrible. Don't give the community uh, a way to push push boundaries one way or another, because they're going to try to skew it purposely. They're going to troll. That's what the internet does.
It was originally revealed in 2017, originally set to be released at the end of 2018, was later delayed to 2019, and then was delayed to March of 2020, and then in a call in October of last year, they said that it was going to be 2021 to 2022 at the earliest, and then now, I mean, this game's never coming out.
Yeah. This is vaporware. I mean, the fact that now they're saying, okay, we're retooling this and that. I remember when this was announced, and I remember that shortly thereafter, or around that time, is when Sea of Thieves was announced, and then Sea of Thieves came out, and it was fun. You and I played a little bit, but like, it was fun. This is like, yeah, more realistic, very. Watching this and then Whitney playing Assassin's Creed like in the other room, like it has that kind of the thing that I like about playing Assassin's Creed in this, but I feel like it's coming out so late. I mean, when it comes out, it may end up being like what's called The Last Guardian. Like it's going to miss its window of when people care. But I don't know if it comes out.
No, it's never coming out. I'll just call it right now. You're never going to see this game.
The amount of money that these studios like pour into these games, that it's like, how are you going to recoup cost on that? Like the amount of the development cost for this game. I know we're not talking about
like 1313, like that game was close to done and just stopped existing, and so
that was sad. That was crazy sad. Yeah. Anyways, on that bummer of a note, let us know in the comments what one of your favorite games that you're never going to see is. Let us know in the comments what that is. What's your favorite vaporware? Duke Nukem Forever actually came out, so you can't talk about that. So let us know in the comments what your favorite vaporware is, and we'll see you next time.
Okay, bye.